Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiemon and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 148. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? In all honesty, I thought this week's chapter was great, and I think it did a great job at setting up pretty much Asa's character as well as Yoru's, as well as the, overall conflict, because right now we know that the Chainsaw Man church has been exposed and everything's going downhill, and it really sets up right now, what the big end goal is going to be. And I think that this week's chapter did a great job at setting up what Asa and Yoru are going to be up to going forward in the story. Now, before I go any further with this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that taken care of, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter starts off where we left off last time, which is pretty much a random old, NPC old dude. He just starts talking to Denji. It's like, hey, he's Chainsaw Man. Like, we got to take him out. And then Denji and them, they're like, wait, what are you talking about, old man? Like, what? And then you see that pretty much he's like, I saw you. I seen you transform in the past. I know, like, you're one of those people. Like, and then, even one of the public safety people, they're like, is he telling the truth? And he's like, yeah, well, he is. But, they're just like, well, they don't straight up say it because it would be a red flag, but they're just like, no, it's fine. And then Fumiko pulls out her badge. She's like, no, trust me, it's public safety, we're fine. And then one of the people says, I saw one of the public safety people turn into a Chainsaw Man as well. So like nobody can be trusted at this point. And what you see is like one of the people that was accompanying Quan Chi and Fumiko, one of the people in the public safety, he pulled out the gun. He's like, and things keep getting from worse to worse, and we see that eventually you see Quan Chi just tell them like run, and like the next thing you proceed to see is like they start shooting, like the guy starts shooting, and then Quan Chi, like the G that she is, she blocks them, and she uses her arm to protect them. And what we see is that pretty much the people they keep shooting and Quan Chi just blocks, and then you see Fumiko like, oh no, and then Quan Chi just keeps saying run, and like Quan Chi, badass, love her to death, and this week's chapter just makes her even more of a badass. Took a bullet for them. That's a real one, if I've ever seen one. And what we see after that is we catch up back with the Yoshida and Asa plot, and we see that pretty much we left off where Asa lost an arm, and this week's chapter we see that the conflict's still happening. They're still fighting, and we see that pretty much Yoshida's going for the death blow, it seems like. And then the next thing you see is the room 606 sword, where we left off last time. And we see the aftermath of that because Yoshida, he traps her in his squid devil, and she's trapped. Yet, you see this big impact where like the building itself is being destroyed, and it's cut in half. And the next panel we see is, Asa / Yoru is back, and you see Yoru back, and she has this huge sword. Like, she got the Dragon Slayer from Berserk, she's this epically big sword, and you see that she's about to like just wreck shop, and she destroys whatever she was trapped with the octopus devil. And what we proceed to see is pretty much just Yoru like lacing herself and being like, yeah, I'm back, baby. Like, this is great. It's like, I can't believe I didn't even have to touch the floor to turn it into a weapon. So like it starts focusing on the fact that Yoru herself is getting more powerful, and we know why, because the conflict around the world, the world that's at the edge of war, especially at a global scale after the events of the church and what they've been doing. So it's really setting up like that Yoru is going to get a buff, and she definitely does, because we see in this chapter, like I said, she didn't even have to touch the floor to transform the entire building. And that leads into pretty much, she is telling Yoshida, like, you're ready to fight? Like, come on, let's go. And you see, like, a stare down between the two of them. And even Yoshida is like, he's too smart to realize, like, this is not worth it. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm just a dude. He's fighting one of the four horsewomen. Like, he won't stand a chance. So even as powerful as Yoshida is, especially right now with, the conflict around the world, and we see that, Asa / Yoru got a huge buff. He doesn't want to take the risk, so he dips. Like, he's out of there. And you see just, Asa and Yoru just like, like they're just especially, it's not even Asa, it's Yoru at this point because she took over. And we see just how excited she is. She's like, I'm back, baby. And like, you just see in her eyes, like, yes, like pretty much I'm back. Like I might not be at my fullest strength, but people have started to remember me. And we see then the final panel of this week's chapter is pretty much Asa. Asa / Yoru. It's Yoru at the end of the day. But we see Yoru pretty much just staring at the chaos that the world is in right now, with like flames everywhere, explosions everywhere. And you just see her like, people have remembered me, like I'm back. Like, and you just see her looking at the world being burned to a crisp. And she just pretty much declares like, I'm back. And that's how the chapter ends. We end with pretty much an important note that is, Yoru, now she is the one, controlling the wheel, and she's the one that pretty much, I wouldn't say she's controlling the wheel in the sense of Asa. I think Asa still can switch back and forward. I'm talking about specifically how she's the one that's like, I'm so powerful right now. Like right now, she has the chips in her. She has all the chips that in the table. She's ready to make her play, and we know that Fami and her have been in cahoots, and we don't know exactly what they've been in cahoots about. We do know that Fami wants Chainsaw Man and Yoru to get stronger, and definitely right now, Yoru has become way stronger. And I think that after the events of the Chainsaw Man Church, people have feared Chainsaw Man as well. So I'm guessing both of them have gotten a huge buff. My big question is it going to be enough to be able to stop, the future threat of the Death Devil? Because we haven't seen anything of the Death Devil, but if we have to go and assume how powerful this entity is, we would have to assume that this is an entity as powerful, like way beyond powerful as the Falling Devil. And we knew how powerful the Falling Devil was. The Falling Devil was, being very like a big threat for Denji and Asa combined. So I can only assume, how impactful the Death Devil will be at the end of the day when it comes to the battle. Because if this is Nostradamus apocalypse thing is gonna go down, it's gonna go down sooner than later. Because like I said, Yoshi and Femi have been talking about like, okay, we're nearing the end game pretty much, and right now everything's going to chaos. Like the whole world is being turned upside down, and it's not looking good for our party of members. And I'm assuming right now that it's gonna take way more than just the hybrids and Denji and Yoru, because like I said, how powerful is this Death Devil? We haven't even seen a glimpse of it. If we want to go power scaling devils, the most powerful we've seen probably up to this day has been the Darkness, because Darkness was able to just like one shot everybody in hell. And the Fear of Dark, is a primordial fear, and the Darkness Devil was giving a run for its money to Makima. We knew how powerful Makima was. So if the end goal is to get Denji to come back at its fullest, that would definitely mean that they won the powerful Pochita. When Pochita took over Denji at the end of part 1, they definitely won that Chainsaw Man back. But now I'm curious to see how are they going to be able to get that specific Chainsaw Man back, because Denji, he seems like he's in full control. Pochita and him have a great relationship. So I'm wondering, like, what would it take? Would it take something as super emotional for that to happen? Because we know that at the end of part 1, the reason he was able to turn into that evil Pochita, or not even necessarily evil, just Pochita at full power, was because he was in despair. He had gone through everything, and he didn't want to like have a heart anymore. He had given up in life, and that's how Pochita was able to take over again at his full power and wreck shop. And if I'm wondering if that Pochita Denji hybrid thing, if that comes back, I'm wondering if Asa and Yoru would have like a similar form like that, because it would make sense. If Yoru got nerfed, it's only fair to assume that she would also get a powerful buff like that, like pretty much like all epically, like the armor and everything. I think it'll be very sick in a slick design in Fujimoto's part. So we will have to wait and see what the developments with that are, because like I said, it's all speculation at the end of the day, and we still don't know what Femi is at the end of the day planning. We don't know like what her end goal is, because we have been told what she what she was doing with the church and whatnot, but what is she really after? She says that she wants to protect Earth and because of the food and whatnot, but at the end of the day, there has to be an alternative motive, I would assume. She's not the most reliable narrator, I would say. Definitely not, especially but how discreet and how mysterious she's been this entire time. So I'm looking forward to seeing where the story goes with her character as well, and the developments with Fami, Nayuta, Yoru, and the Death Devil, because right now, like I said, we're reaching the end game. It seems like we're reaching like something very climactic, like it's almost some Avengers stuff. We're gonna get the end game soon, because we already got back the hybrids. We got in Quan Chi, Katana Man, literally all of the hybrids except for Riz, which I'm very excited to see if she comes back, because I guarantee you Fujimoto saving her up for something very big, and I'm sure that she will, when she shows up, it will be a very significant moment. So for all my Riz brothers out there, just know that I'm with y'all. Y'all just gotta strive a little bit more, persevere. We'll get there, fam. We'll get our best girl back soon. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.